Hey you, it's Jessica with Creating Your Happy, and today we're going to talk about a topic that is taboo in a lot of households and in life in general, and that's finance. I hate finance. I did accounting and bookkeeping in my husband's office for a few years. I did it somewhat in a previous corporation. I absolutely hate it, but I was somewhat good at it, not professional by any means, but I was somewhat good at it, so I thought that was what I was going to do the rest of my life because I was good at it. But seriously, I was absolutely miserable. And what I think is cool about it now is I'm actually doing something that I love, and here I am talking about it. But the cool thing is that I'm doing something I love, and although I'm talking about something I hate, the reason I love it so much is because I could possibly help others out there come up with a system that I've come up with to help make something I hate so much not so bad. I don't want to say it's wonderful and it's perfect by any means, but it's not as bad as it used to be. Now, I've also created a blog post about this topic because there are so many things that I want to go into detail that I think if you see it, it'll really help than just hearing it. So head over to the blog post. I'll post the link right here. Or if you're watching it on YouTube, I'll of course include the clickable link in the description. And my kids are watching Alvin and the Chipmunks. And they think it's hilarious. All right, so maybe there's a good financial tip. When I have to get something done for just a short amount of time, I spend like $2.99 to rent a movie on Amazon, and it occupies them. And although you may hear laughing in the background, it occupies them long enough that I can get this done. All right, so that was financial because it was cheap. $2.99 entertainment, way cheaper than any babysitter, right? All right, so the very first thing that I want to recommend is QuickBooks. I used QuickBooks early on in my husband's business, and I was intimidated by it. I mean, I had a girlfriend that used it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to get this. Will you help me? And oh, I picked it up like that. And it's not because I was good at it, it's because it's super user-friendly. So when I came back home full-time, I knew I wanted to put our personal finances into QuickBooks. And it has changed my finance life because I'm able to track things. I can see how much we're spending in whatever category I need to look up. And the most amazing part is it connects with my bank account and my credit cards. So it will pull transactions in, and that's so much, how do I say that? It's so much less work. That doesn't sound right, but it is. It is so much less work. It's less work that I have to do when it comes to sitting down and doing my finances because it pulls it in for me. And all I have to do is look at the transaction and go, okay, that goes in the food and drink category, the food and entertainment category. And when it sees a transaction that's been used before, it memorizes it and it says food and entertainment category, right? You know, it pretty much says that. And, yep, okay, on your way. And you go down the list and it makes it so easy. Oh, I love this so much. Now, there are different subscriptions, accounts that you can get with QuickBooks. I have the cheapest plan because I'm a tightwad, but you can go up to a next level to where you can even enter your bills and just make life heavenly. Now, I do use that for my business to where I can enter bills and create invoices. Yes. When I get done. Dessert, right? He ate all his food, so he gets dessert. It's a treat. If I hear treat one more time. So I do use that for my business, and it helps a lot. It's wonderful. So I really recommend that you look at the QuickBooks website, figure out which one's for you. They make it so easy. They put check marks by which features come with which package, and it's wonderful. Another reason I love it is because I can take it with me. So well, obviously it's internet-based. It's online. A lot of people don't realize that QuickBooks isn't a software that you install on with a CD anymore. Of course, you can do that, and I'm sure big companies do that to where they download it and it's strictly on a device, but I do the online version and I can be on vacation and I can go into my QuickBooks and do a quick update or whatever, and it's wonderful. Another thing that I do is I dedicate one day a week to my finances. No, not the whole day, but I know every week on this day I allot time to my finances. And if you are someone that gets paid, say, every 2 weeks, perhaps it could look like, okay, this week I just check in and look at my checking account. I enter in bills that I've received, or I just kind of get a good mental picture and, oh yeah, that's due this week before I get my paycheck next week, or whatever that may look like. And the next week when you've received your paycheck, maybe that day, that next week is the day you pay all the bills. So if you're paid every 2 weeks, maybe flip-flop. So this week you just check in and kind of overview everything. Doesn't take very long. The next week when you get your paycheck, that's the day you sit down and you pay your bills. So which day would that work for you? It's going to be different for everyone. Say you get paid every other Friday. Well, that could look like every other Saturday. You know that when you get up, make your coffee, maybe even before the kids wake up, put that load of laundry in, and sit down and go over, get your finances out of the way so you don't spend all Saturday going, oh, I forgot to do that. Make that your first priority, because guys, finances, even though we don't like to talk about it and we don't like to do it, they can give us a pit in our stomach and just give us a negative vibe all day long if it's something that's gnawing at us, knowing that we have to get it done. So make that a priority every other Saturday morning, that's when you sit down and do bills. Guys, when you put a routine with it, oh, it takes the stress out of, I got to get this done. I got to make time to get this done. I don't want to do it. The procrastination starts to snowball. Just make the time. Now, the moment I started doing a routine with it, it was incredible. It's like, okay, it's Tuesday morning. I know I have to do my finances this morning. I've known all week that Tuesday was coming, and Tuesday is when I update my checkbook, when I pay my bills, etc., etc. And I didn't dread it as much because I knew it was coming. It wasn't 4 or 5 days go by and I go, oh, I haven't done that yet. Oh, I really need to do that. So now if you are, I already explained that if you get a paycheck every 2 weeks, every week, whatever, it's maybe a good idea to do it the following day. Now, if you're someone like us, where my husband owns his own business, and so do I love to set aside some time every week on a certain day. So I know every Tuesday, okay, that Tuesday morning is when I go into my checking account, I go into my QuickBooks, and I update it. And what I mean by update, I sync it with my bank account, I sync it with my credit cards, and I just do a refresh. I get a good overall mental picture. So although we don't get paychecks every week, and we depend on sums that come in, every so often, that's how businesses like him and I operate, then I know when we get paid for that project that we sit down on Tuesday morning or whatever, and we pay our bills. But in the meantime, we keep things going every week. I still want to check in. I still want to look at things. I want to have an overall mental picture, because the last thing that you want is, if you are in the same kind of setup that we are in, to sit down when you get paid that big commission or whatever that you've been waiting on, sit down and go, oh man, I thought we were going to have so much left over after that. But if you've been checking in every week and going, okay, that bill came in, that was higher than I expected. Okay, so now I know when that commission check comes in or whatever it is, that money may need to go to that instead of that vacation in Tahiti that we talked about. So that's just another recommendation. Making time, setting aside time and having routine, making sure it's the same time every week, no matter what, that you sit down and you spend 10 minutes or however long it takes. You'd be surprised. It doesn't take as long when you get the hang of it and you get the routine going, because you tend to have all of your stuff ready to go, or I do. I file it all in one spot in my desk, and you find that, well, if I would just put this here when I get it in from the mailbox, it'll be ready for me on Tuesday morning. You'll start coming up with little systems along the way, and it'll get quicker and quicker the more you do it. Okay, another favorite trick of mine with finance is mobile deposits. Like, okay, I live in Missouri. I'm in the Midwest. We're the last to get everything. It's like, we don't live on the West Coast. We don't live on the East Coast. We're not cool. And when the moment we got mobile deposit, I was like, oh, because although it takes me 5 minutes to get to my bank to make a deposit, putting the kids in the car, or I'll get out and I'll go say, okay, we're going to the bank today. I get out and about, oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot to make that deposit while we were out. Guys, with mobile deposit, I can take a picture of my check and boop, and it's in there. So much easier. I know that probably scares some of you, because what if it doesn't take, guys, the way my bank is set up, they email me a confirmation that they've received it, and then they email me a confirmation when it's been confirmed and it's in my account and ready to go. So check with your bank to see if they offer that, and it can save you gas, time, stress, worry, so much. So check into that. Okay, another favorite trick of mine is on our online banking. I'm sure all banks, a lot of banks probably have this, but it's a simple little things. For so long, we had 2 different logins at the same bank. this account is over here and this account is over here. Well, if there are personal accounts, there have been times where I'm like, oh, you know what, if I just had this much money in this account, I could probably do this with it because I have a debit card for this one. So say it's a savings account or in a checking account, but they're under two different logins on your online bank account. If your bank, which I'm sure they do, has a transfer option, it's so easy to go into your account if they're on the same login and just transfer that money over immediately. In my bank, that movie is really funny. My bank makes a transfer immediately because it's just between two accounts that are at that same bank. So they just boop, 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 and I'm able to use the money right away out of the certain account. So that's just a little, I'm sure that's something you've known of, but I'm wondering if there's somebody out there that may just need a reminder of, duh, why don't I just put two accounts on the same login and I can just move them back and forth if I need to. Now, I am no financial expert. That may be like a Dave Ramsey, no, don't ever put your savings account in the same one as your checking because it'll be easy for the people out there who have trouble managing money and it's just too easy. So please don't blame me for spending your savings because you saw a couch at Ashley and you wanted it right now. So I'm just saying be very careful with that if you have that option. But the way I have it set up, I have two of our accounts in the same online login, and I have some self-control. So I'm able to go, okay, I'm not touching that because I'm not supposed to touch that. So it makes it really easy for me to go in and say, oh, okay, I need this money here for right now. And I just go in on my phone, on my computer, wherever I'm at and make the transfer. There have been times I've been at the grocery store, I'm like, oh, I forgot to do that. I need to, and I get on the app and I do it right there. It's less stress. It's convenient. It's nice and easy. Okay, now something that I've heard a lot of you ask me is about marriage and finance. We could get into a whole other video about that, honestly. But something that my husband and I have done that has really helped, if you are the one that manages the money in the house or your husband is, and you guys have a lot of conflict of going, oh, I wish you would have told me you bought that because I wasn't prepared to take that out. I was going to use that money for something else. You know, we've had many discussions like that over the years, ever since we've been married. And the moment that my husband said, you know what, how about you just take that debit card and I won't get that debit card. I'll have my account over here or I'll do it with cash or whatever. Oh my gosh, it has made that aspect of our finance and our marriage so much nicer, so much easier. I don't have that feeling anymore of, well, I wonder if he used the debit card today and I didn't plan on that, I didn't include that in. Oh, I don't have that stress and that worry anymore. So the moment that we decided to make that change, huge difference in the stress level of finance in our house. Amazing difference. So I do recommend looking at something like that. All right, and one final thing. If you are a pen and paper person, QuickBooks may scare you. I get that. I love to take notes with pen and paper. I love seeing it all down. I know you all are out there who like the old school checkbook and write it all down. That's me. Okay, I do both because I'm kind of insane. I save my receipts, I have my checkbooks, and then I enter it and sync it with my I'm crazy. I'm crazy woman. But if you are a pen and paper kind of person out there, I really recommend the printable sheets that I linked to in the blog post. I printed these out. I bought them off of Etsy. One, they're super cute. Two, they're amazing. They have a monthly tracker sheet. They have a budget set up. They have so much. I forget how many sheets, maybe 7 or 11. And they're so pretty and they help me stay organized and keep track of finances and bills that are coming in so I can go, okay, I can look at my bill sheet and say, we get this bill that's due on the 5th every month and this one's on the 17th. And it's just an overall view of what bills I have every month. I think it has like a savings tracker and it has so much and it's so affordable. It's an instant download. And then once you have the file, you just print it off as many times as you want. It's so cute. It's like pink and white with little black font. I love it. That's totally my style. So if you're not into those colors or that style, Etsy has a ton of them, but I did include the link to the ones I'm talking about in the blog post. I actually linked to them in a blog post of how I increase my productivity. Don't hold me to it. That's not the name of the blog post, but how I make my desk work more productive. I linked to that in that post as well. And I love that blog post because it's so true. It's just little quick hacks like how I keep track of to-do lists and everything online and my online storage system. So if you're interested in that type of stuff too, don't forget to check that blog post out and I'll have that linked below too. All right, so that is my little rundown of some finance stuff that is typically taboo, but I have found a way to make it less stressful in my life to approach finance, to deal with finance. When you put a routine to it, it makes things so much easier because you know it's coming, you have a plan in place, and you're ready for it when the day gets here. And it makes it not so bad. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate below. And thank you so much, guys. I'm getting so many emails and messages about how much you love these style of videos. And guys, that's what's so great about it. I love doing these videos. So when I hear from you that it's helped, there's a specific topic that you really want to hear about, that helps me so much because the feedback from you tells me that you enjoy it, and it tells me that I should keep doing it. And that makes my heart so full, for one. And then it kind of gives me purpose to keep going on and keep doing this. So thank you so much for all the messages, emails, comments. It means a lot. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Click on the links below in the description if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you're on the blog at fantabulosity.com, reading this post, watching this video, all the links are below. All right, guys, see you later. Bye.